Hello and welcome to the webinar. My name is Marc Rudram, UK National Sales Manager for NEC. Within this webinar, we're going to have a look at the MyCalls Desktop application, which is an application that can run on either the SL2100 or the SV9100. MyCalls Desktop has been designed to work alongside an NEC proprietary handset, whether that be a digital handset or an IP handset. Equally, the application can actually work with an analog device as well. The desktop really comprises of what we would call action pages, and on the MyCalls Desktop you can have up to 10 action pages which can contain 100 buttons that can do various things. Let me talk you through them. We have the ability to have some extensions mapped out that gives me visibility of when they're on the phone, off the phone, when they've got a call forward, whether they'll be on an internal call, external call. Visibility is key. So I have a very quick view of seeing what my colleagues are doing. I can have buttons that have my most regular numbers that I call. So this will aid me just by clicking on a button, it will dial that destination as opposed to looking at the directory within my handset. We can also have buttons that represent system features, taking it from day service to night service or call forward to voicemail, etc. And of course, one of the most useful features, I believe, is what we call shortcuts to programs that we use on a regular basis. Give you an example of that. If a caller was to phone in and say to me, Mark, I'm on your website, what I wouldn't want to do is minimize the application and then launch Google Chrome or my browser to get on the website so I can actually understand what the caller is talking about. What I want to do is have a quick fire button that I can click right here and it will go straight off to the NEC website. And we'll be showing you this very shortly in a live demonstration. Within the MyCalls Desktop, we have a level of control. Some of you may already view the MyCalls Desktop Lite. It does have an element control, but on the MyCalls Desktop, we have more control here. As you can see within this screenshot, we have do not disturb, call forwards, and other features. So it's a little bit more of an advanced application in its call control aspect. We also be able to see our call history, so the calls that we've made and received and calls that have been abandoned, and the application comes along with an address book as well. MyCalls Desktop can screen pop various CRMs such as Outlook, Goldmine, Maximizer, Salesforce, SageLine 50, and Microsoft Dynamics. Those are all very much off the shelf CRMs. However, customers now having CRMs that are bespoke to their business. Now, using macro scripting will allow us to write some software that sits in between the CRM and the telephone system and will screen pop the caller information and give us the ability to highlight and dial or potentially using an icon within that bespoke CRM. So we can highlight and dial, whether that be through a CRM in a Word document, an Excel spreadsheet, a web page, we can just highlight and dial. The application also gives us instant messaging as well as presence. So with that said, let's really get over and see it in live working action. So this is the MyCalls Desktop. Underneath here, for just the purpose of this demonstration, I've brought in the MyCalls Desktop Lite, brackets, basic, just to show you some functionality. So even if you start to compare the two here, you've got the core control here on the MyCalls Desktop Lite. On the MyCalls Desktop, we've got more of a control, we've got more buttons. So as you can see, I've got do not disturb and call forward, where I haven't on the Desktop Lite version. So the reception phone, this is the reception. If I go into a do not disturb mode, just to give you an idea, you can actually see this person now, and all the other people that have got this application will know that this person's on a do not disturb feature. So yet again, visibility is key. Let me take that out of do not disturb by clicking clear, and you can see now that the extensions are now available to be called. Now on the right hand side, we've got my ST500, which is an app that runs on my iPhone, and it also works on an Android device. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to dial extension 200 and call in. Okay, so the first thing that you'll notice is that I'm on an internal call and it's ringing at this extension, and I can click on the icon here to answer the call. I could put them on hold, I could transfer them, I can put the phone down, I can park them. I've got all that functionality there for me. If we hang up now, you'll see that my ST500 will also go back to its normal state. Even on the ST500, we are able to set some features. So yet again, showing you what I showed you on a normal extension going into Do Not Disturb, we can also do that on an ST500. So here I am in North Nottingham. Our office is in South Nottingham. I'm using an application over the internet into our office, and you know, although my colleagues in the office know, that I'm on the phone, off the phone, or in this instance, I'm in a Do Not Disturb state. So yet again, let me cancel that, and you'll see that now I'm ready to be called. And if I click on this, and I'll turn my volume up on my mobile phone, hopefully you'll hear it ring. There we go. And I'm just going to hang up. Okay, so we hang up the call. So visibility is fantastic, functionality is exceptional. The green buttons that we have below, these are telephone numbers that we dial on a regular basis. All we have to do is click on them and they'll dial those people that it says are within that tab. And then we've got some functionality. We can page all the people in the sales department, or we can page everybody within the business. I can redirect to my voicemail. I've got day and night mode, so I've got some functionality that I can actually use as and when I require. I spoke about the executable shortcuts in effect. So the example I gave when somebody phoned in and said, Mark, I'm on your website. And I did say, I don't want to minimize the application. I want to click on a button. Exactly what happens here. When I click on that button, it goes off to the NEC website. This could be a PDF, a Word document, an Excel spreadsheet. It could be yell.com. It could be whatever you want it to be. Okay, so that makes my life a lot easier, not having to minimize the application. And you can see down here we've got call park, so we can actually, when I've got a call, we can put them on park hold 1, 2, 3 and retrieve them accordingly. And so here we've got this tab, so this action page, if you like, which we've got 10 of. We're looking at one of those 10, albeit I haven't got 10 programmed, but you can see here I've got site 2, site 3, I've got a school, I've got another action page. Don't forget you can have 10 of those with 100 buttons. So if you want to put your colleagues in departments under different action tabs, not a problem at all. You can design that in any way, shape or form. The other tabs that we have, we've got the calls. So if I click on the calls here, these are the calls that have come into my extension today. I can have the ability to filter them, what came in yesterday, last week, etc. If we do have the calls recorded for legal and training purposes, and I've been given the authority to listen to them, I can do that within the MyCalls Desktop because the icon here is blue. We'll look at the call recording in a later webinar. And if I've missed any calls, they would appear here, so that would allow me to dial them back. And if they've called in and we've answered them, obviously those unreturned calls would disappear. So what happens when I bring a call in? Okay, we mentioned screen popping and the variety of different CRMs that we can do. We can use macro scripting to work with bespoke CRMs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to phone in on the DDI number of our demonstration room, and you'll see for yourself how screen popping works. So I'm going to phone in right now. So you come in and it's screen popped. So let me just move that down because I just want to answer the call. Bring this back to the front. Now the reason why this screen popped is because within Outlook, my telephone number is within that contact. Now if I had the 3 other entries and I phoned in from those other 3 entries, yet again that was screen pop. How that screen popped, it popped as soon as I phoned in. And it popped. That could be annoying because I could have been making a cup of coffee, and therefore when I come back I have to close down all these contacts. Could be 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 if it's a bad day or a long cup of coffee. So you may want to change that to screen pop when you answer the call to avoid coming back and closing all these contact fields. Okay. We're not going to look at the instant messaging, because if you want to look at that, we've viewed that quite intensively on the MyCalls Desktop Lite version. But what I want to show you are two other things. Presence. So I have the ability to display to everybody that's got a MyCalls Desktop application what my presence is. So let's say I'm going on holiday. It presents me with now setting some information of my holiday. So I'm going to say I'm going to come back on April the 8th. I'm going to the USA and forward all my calls. Well, where would you like them to go to? It could be a colleague, it could be to your voicemail. It's up to you. We'll send it to voicemail and click on OK. Now what you notice is this icon now has appeared, and it's told me that I'm on holiday. It's telling me I'm going to the USA, and my expected date of return is the 8th of May 2020. Now, if you look further down on everybody else's application, they know that Mark, or the reception in this instance, is actually on holiday. And if they've programmed the button correctly, you can see there the call forward to my destination of choice, which is my voicemail, and how long I've been in that state. We can also display where he's actually gone on his holidays. Okay, so that's pretty cool, presence. So let me go back into an office state. Now, presence may be something that directors may want, but they may not want to use the application. That's not a problem, because we do have an Outlook plugin that you set your presence within Outlook. It doesn't allow that person to view everybody's presence, but it allows them to demonstrate or display their presence. And they would set the presence up in the same way that I just did. What the MyCalls Desktop will do is synchronize with Exchange. And if you are going into a meeting at 10 o'clock and you set your presence to reflect that, at 10 o'clock, the MyCalls Desktop and the Microsoft Outlook will synchronize and will change your presence accordingly, allowing everybody within the business knowing where you are, what you're doing, what time you're due back. Okay, so presence is very, very good, and gives us yet again more information of what our colleagues are doing, why they're not at the desk, etc. Now, if I bring another call in, the last thing I'm going to touch on is to do with recording, but I'm not going to go through the entirety of the call recording solution. But there is something I really want to show you. So I'm just going to minimize that because I need to take this call. So I'm going to answer it. Now, I've answered the call, and you can see this little red icon. What this allows me to do, if I'm somebody that's taking credit card information, okay, that's illegal to record. So by pressing this button here, I have now paused the recording, and I'm able to give my credit card information to the person I'm talking to. When I've finished taking the information, I can press the button again and it continues to record. That is just one way how we can actually pause calls while taking credit card information. Okay, as I said, I wasn't going to touch on the instant messaging, but have a look at the previous video. It's intense and goes through instant messaging quite well, whether it be group or individual instant messaging. But please remember that all the instant messages are recorded and stored in history. So if somebody's complaining that they feel that they're being bullied or abused through instant messaging, a supervisor could go back and have a look through the records. That's a quick summary of the MyCalls Desktop. So now that you had an insight view of the MyCalls Desktop, some takeaways for you just to refresh you, and hopefully you'll be able to engage with your customers and prospects a little bit more elegantly and a little bit more in depth. So screen popping using macro scripting will allow us to screen pop bespoke databases and CRMs. So yeah, again, it's just a little bit of software that sits in between the bespoke CRM and the NEC telephone system, and it's like a translation piece. It just makes sure that the CRM, the information that's being passed to it, is understood in the right way in order to screen pop and highlight and dial. Don't forget those shortcuts to programs that you use on a regular basis, as they're very important. We've also seen the presence, whether you're using within the MyCalls Desktop application or within an Outlook plugin for those people that don't want the application. Can easily be achieved. And of course, if we are having our calls recorded for legal and training reasons, and you've got the authority to do so, you could listen to the recording through the MyCalls Desktop application. Setting your system features could be handy for you, putting the system into day service, night service and call forwards. And don't forget, above all else, we have 10 action pages with 100 buttons on each, giving you 1,000 buttons you can design in any way, shape or form. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you. I hope you enjoyed this short webinar. If you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to contact the NEC Channel Manager. Take care and have a great day.